Hi, my name is Nunziata, and I'm a New York City-based director and creator of theater, television, and film. I'm also a proud FENIX Global Artist Ambassador. Today, I am so excited to be speaking with the Boston-born, Brooklyn-based multi-instrumentalist, Nick Throop. Before interviewing him, take a sneak peek at Nick's amazing talent.
Lo, I am with thoughts filled of a razor fine. Your walls are 10 feet high. Broken-handed, I still tread the water's line, still waiting for a sign. We are banded by our wandering desire, and it comes in a breath and a sigh. Let it shine, oh let it shine through our careless cries. 'Cause I'm on the way back home, I'm on the way back home.
Well, hello, Nick. How are you?
Very good. How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks. Well, the audience just got to hear a little sneak peek of your incredible talent. And I know that you are Boston-born and Brooklyn-based. And I have to admit, I didn't tell you this yet, but I was actually, to make this about me for about 5 seconds,
Yeah.
I was Boston-born and then eventually was Boston-based when I went to Boston College. I thought that was cool for me, but
Cool.
Nick is probably like, I want to talk about my music. Thank you.
No, that's super cool. BC's great.
Well, Nick, you are, I mean, I don't even want to say multi-hyphenate. I mean, that doesn't even do justice to what you do. You're a multi-instrumentalist, but you also give back as a music teacher. And before we even get into that part of your story, I would like to go back for a second.
Sure.
I want to know about Nick, the kid from Boston who had this knack for playing instruments. What was that like for you? And when did you know that you wanted to maybe do this for a living?
So it was a really young start for me. My mom, grew up in the hippie days. She had her acoustic guitar hanging around the house. We also had a piano in the house. So both my dad, myself, and my sister were starting music from a young age. I started on violin at like age 3.
Oh my gosh.
And then progressed to piano, and I did piano for 5-6 years or something like that. And then I picked up the guitar around my teenage years, when you kind of want to rebel and stuff like that, and joined a band with some members that you've already maybe interviewed already. And then that kind of took me to my own pedagogy, kind of teaching myself, as opposed to coming from a place where I was taking lessons and getting all this kind of stuff. So I played guitar for, 10 years, just kind of the classic stuff. And then in high school, you're thinking about what you want to do in college. So the only thing that really made sense for me was music, right? And continuing on in that regard at a higher level. So in college, I declared for a classical guitar, and it's been music ever since, pretty much.
I love that, Nick. And I love the array of talents that you have, and to hear in how from a very young age you were attracted to so many different instruments and so many different styles. And you can see that within the professional work that's out there. I mean, you're a founder of Steamboats, this amazing folk bluegrass vocal trio. On top of the fact you are a member of the funk soul band Butterchild. And by the way, I was very fortunate pre-pandemic. One night in Boston, I got to see Butterchild in action. With the singer Michael Nogler, who we've interviewed.
Yeah.
But I just love, and your parents must be so proud, but also what the world gets to see, your taste in an array of musical stylings. That must be cool for you to be able to have these outlets to express yourself within these different musical sensibilities that are a part of you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very fortunate to be have one of those ears where you can kind of pick things up, jumping from genre to genre, because I honestly can get a little bit bored with one thing, and then I want to move to the next, and then learn a couple things in that genre, and then on to the next kind of stuff.
Well, Nick, I'm excited for you because not only do you have a following, having traveled throughout the New York area, the Boston area, but up and down the East Coast. I think about the transcendent nature of, just for example, Steamboats and Butterchild. You have this folk bluegrass meets, funk soul sound. That music is obviously great music. I'm sure we can agree is transcendent. And to think about the potential collaborations and also fans in the East that are outside the United States, across both oceans, that are going to get to know you as an artist. I don't know, what do you think about something like that?
I think that's great. I mean, more ears, the better, right? I mean, I'm sure my circle of friends is sick of the stuff that I've been pushing. So the more people that hear it, works for me.
Well, I know it's going to, hit, because what I love so much about FENIX is that they don't box anyone in. It's not an app that's like, put in your, line of art, whether you're a singer, an instrumentalist, a sculptor, an author, a motivational speaker.
Yeah.
What I love with their new name, FENIX 360, they really celebrate the 360 viewpoint of the human. And, for someone like you, who isn't someone who pegs themselves in doing just one thing, I just think it's going to be a beautiful platform for you to express yourself however you want.
Yeah. I mean, I totally agree. I'd love to just put everything that, I'm thinking about that week right out there.
And I love that, an app like FENIX is going to also not only be a platform for you to post your videos, to do a live stream of your show, and to have whatever payment people to come in to your live streams pay, it goes directly to you, the artist. There's no like, oh, someone's going to be taking 90% of,
Sure.
Your revenue. It actually is, it sounds too good to be true, but it's the truth. I know the CEOs, their bliss, these CEOs' bliss is to be making the artist the priority and to putting more money in the artist's pocket. For someone like you, who's an independent artist, right? A gig worker.
Yeah.
What would that be? What's that like for you to think about?
I can't even imagine, because it's never been the experience.
They are literally changing the way things are done. I'm an artist. I never heard of it. I mean, wait, what? Artists not getting the short end of the stick for once?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a change.
It's a change, but it's what I love so much. It's the heartbeat of FENIX. And when I think about someone like you, Nick, who has this immense talent that, why aren't you getting paid like, the big shots? Your talent is just as, if not better than them.
Hey, you said it, not me.
I know, I want to be your champion, Nick. I know they call me the global ambassador, but this is why I do it. Because I'm in a rehearsal room as a director, advocating for the artists always. And I feel so grateful to have been, now part of the FENIX family for 8 weeks. And I want to be a voice for artists just like yourself, who are so immensely talented, that deserve not only more money in their pocket, but, the acclaim and the eyeballs and ears that they deserve.
Yeah, that would be certainly great. I mean, we've all been kind of in the trenches, struggling to gain any sort of recognition with the things that we put out. So having someone like yourself, help out in that regard, it's just great.
Well, it's part of my bliss, Nick. And, just to button this interview, I want to know, for you as a music teacher, someone who obviously is inspiring kids on a daily basis to give of themselves, of not only their talent, but their experience. What is that like for you, being a music teacher, especially nowadays when, everyone's kind of stuck at home and you're having to be able to, teach and inspire these kids?
Yeah.
What's that been like for you?
It's obviously, it was a huge change of pace going from all in-person lessons to this kind of digital platform. But I gotta say, it's definitely improved me as a teacher. I am more prepared with materials. I can discuss things in a way that, I couldn't before. Before I was just like, do it like this, blah, 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 blah. But now I have to kind of dictate the best way so that people can understand without me being there. And the other aspect is, we're all in this digital world now. There's something to be said about picking up a craft that you can kind of zone into, that's not a screen. It's very, tactile. It's its own thing. It's definitely a great way to reset your brain these days, I gotta say. And there's inspiration. I feel more inspiration as a teacher with that being said.
That's amazing. Well, I can also imagine that that's going to just continue to bleed into also your own art, right, as a musician. And I'm so excited that you're on board with this app. And you know, you're a beautiful, fantastic talent. And I thank you so much for speaking with me today.
That was my pleasure. Thank you. It's very nice to meet you.
Thanks, Nick.
In the digital age, artists and bands struggle to make a living. In fact, only a small number of artists can live off their craft. For the 98% of artists that don't have the luxury of being signed to a label, it's tough. But artists deserve to live off their art. Wherever you are around the world, appreciation of music does not change. FENIX brings bands and their fans together, whilst allowing bands to properly monetize their passion. The FENIX app will directly connect bands and fans with no need for middlemen. We're utilizing the blockchain to give the power back to the artist once and for all. Join FENIX, join the change.